Hi, I'm Danny, and this is Mysterious Things Tarot. This is where we take a look at the top stories from last week and try to make sense out of them through the cards. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but it's always kind of mysterious. Today we're looking at some pretty heavy, fascinating headlines from last week. One of them is Donald Trump's strange disappearances every 28 days. What's going on with that? And then this new trolling war that has broke out between Gavin Newsom and Trump. So that's kind of a fun one. Then there's the very serious and totally underreported protests in Italy over the Gaza aid. And then to balance this all out, I'm going to end with kind of a lighter feel-good story about a truck full of banned books. So, by the way, I put a link in the description of a download of a list of 100 banned books. So if you want to see what the fuss is all about, click that link and grab your copy. Okay, let's get into the cards. For the first cards here, I'm going to be using the Pulp Tarot. Those are the ones I use for the government stuff mostly. So let's get on with it. So recently, Donald Trump's team has posted a manipulated AI video showing House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero and a mustache, and it's set to mariachi music. Now, the video, it's pretty widely condemned, especially by the Democrats, of course, who call it racist and demeaning. Yet, when J.D. Vance was asked about it, he said, "Oh, it's funny." And he said it was harmless satire. So, is there a difference? I mean, I see a difference between what Newsom is doing and what Trump's staff is doing. It's really not that subtle. The stuff that Newsom is doing is just putting Trump's words and saying them back to him, doing the stuff Trump does exactly, and mocking what has happened. Okay, the big superhero Trump poster. Newsom had a big superhero poster, and it's not like he went and put sombreros on Trump's head. That's the difference. He wasn't demeaning Trump by pulling in racist things to mock him with. He was using his own words. And I think there's a real subtle difference there in whether you're being important but funny or critical and mean-spirited. So there is a difference. So, my dog. Let's not be barking. Okay, so today I want to ask, are Trump staffs trying to compete with Gavin Newsom's trolling? And how effective is that kind of meme warfare politically? Okay, so let's take the cards and get them going. Oh, I have that. Before I do the cards, I do have that little video I'll show you. Add to this.
So they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit.
Yeah, well, there it is. AI to create Chuck Schumer's words there. And I think it was very mean and mean-spirited. Let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, let's see what we got. Card is falling over. Okay. Well, we have, first of all, the Fool. There you go. Playing goofball antics can launch you forward. But they can also make you look foolish. I'm trying to figure out how to get these so you can see it there. Yeah, you can look pretty foolish if you do it wrong, which is what I think is happening. I'm sorry, I have the hiccups. Happening with Trump. Yeah, next one is the Magician. And that, it's an illusion. It's manipulated perception. So, yeah, you can look pretty foolish if you can't figure out how to manipulate it to make it funny. I mean, that's the point. It's supposed to be funny to bring a message, just like the late night comedians use their humor to bring their messages forward. And no matter how easy comedians make it look, it is not easy to actually pull it off, So the next thing is that, it's pure rivalry with Newsom. Both sides are trying to battle to prove who can dominate the stage. I think Newsom's winning, but maybe not. Maybe let's see how the rest of the cards say, because my perception of something and let's say a MAGA person's perception of something could be totally different. So the next one I have is the Two of Swords. That's a split outcome. It entertains the base, the MAGA base, and it alienates kind of the middle people who don't like them to go that low or go that route, or they don't see it as funny. So they're taking a risk there, and this thing that starts as a joke, it might backlash on them, and so we'll see how that goes on both sides, on Newsom's side and on Trump's side. That again, this type of humor, you're walking a line, and if you're not a comedian, you may not be able to pull it off. And the last one I have is justice. So in the end, the truth always outweighs the risks. Okay, there's some justice and accountability coming. I think that memes and trolling might grab the headlines, but these cards suggest they're kind of a double-edged sword. Probably pretty powerful right here in the moment, but it's pretty dangerous in the long run. And the voters are the ones that's going to have the real say on this, on whether they like it or they don't like it, and whether there's a winner or a loser in this trolling game. So that's what I have about that. I like the Newsom trolls, but then that's me. I think they're funny. I don't think making fun of people in a racist and demeaning way is the way to do it. That's just my opinion. So the next story I want to talk about is the mystery to start about Trump's house.
Frontage, and for years, actually 350 years, they were there before us. It was called the Gulf of Mexico. I just had this idea. I'm looking at a map. I'm saying, we have most of the frontage. Why is it Gulf of Mexico? Why isn't it the Gulf of America?
Tired.
And we want
Was the address to
war because we want to have
generals?
no wars, but you have to be there. And
Okay, that's enough of that. So what's happening is that every 28 days, Trump disappears for a week, 5 days, 5 to 7 days. So what's happening? There are rumors that he's having some sort of secret medical treatment or something more exotic. So tonight is Trump. Where is he? He came out this morning and he looked pretty pale, but he has been looking pale for a while. And let's see if I have this picture. Let me remove this one. Okay, this is a picture of him this morning. And he was getting ready to get on a helicopter to go somewhere. But look at here. Look at here. Look at his hair. Is his hair getting thinner? I can almost see a a bald spot, a huge bald spot showing right there on his upper left temporal. And he's got the orange makeup on the front of his face, but it looks like it's not on the side or in the back of his neck. And so if you look there and you look at his ears, he's very white and very pale. He's not looking good, folks. So let's see what the cards have to say about this. Yeah, I don't know. That, he's so vain about that hair. And boy, this morning, it looked like it's almost gone. Is he receiving some kind of treatments where he's losing his hair? You would think that he would be wearing his mega hats more often if that was going to happen, though. So maybe it was just the wind blowing in the right direction or the sun on his side of his head. I don't know. I'll see what the cards say about it. Oh, something's going on. Something's going on. Something they want to keep hidden. Something secretive, shadowy. Maybe it's medical. Maybe it's something else. They're trying to keep something hidden since we asked medical, probably. And again, here we go. 4 of Cups. He's not just hiding. He's deliberately stepping back. He's going away from, he's not going to public events. He's doesn't want to risk exposure for some reason. And oh yeah, here we go. This I'm seeing like it's not like he's home. It's like it's a guarded spot or a remote place he's going, somewhere people can't see him. Wherever he's going, it's he's going down these hallways and there's nobody there. I mean, it's empty. Someone knows the truth about what's going on. They're not going to let it out. But yeah, he's going somewhere where there's hallways. That could be a hospital. It could be a doctor's place. It could be a meeting with someone. But wherever he goes, every 28 days, there's a corridor that he's going through. And it's the same, seems to be the same corridor. And it's dark. It's not brightly lit. Usually in a hospital, those things are brightly lit. But maybe that just indicating secrecy. Anyway, that's what I got for that. It also is Oh, the Eight of Swords. See him all blocked up in there? All those swords around him. He's confined somehow. So wherever he goes, he's confined. Who's running the company? Well, I don't even know if he's running the country when he is there. But I would say Stephen Miller has a big hand in it. God, folks, he is tied up. Look at him. Isolation, something that it limits what he can show to the public. He's really, when he's gone these days, he's out of it. He's gone. That's dangerous. Oh my goodness. Oh, and we have death. Wow. I'm feeling like this is a real transition. Whatever is happening in those corridors is a change. It's to change his public face. It's to change his public persona. So if he's tired or not feeling well or whatever's happening in that space is to change his public. I keep saying change his face, change, like it's like a mask. It's like they pull a mask off and then fix the mask and then put the mask back on. It's like they're fixing it. I keep seeing like a Mardi Gras mask. Wow. Okay, last card is retreat, hidden preparation, isolation. He's when he's gone, he's in isolation, and he's getting new strength or secrecy, new strategy, something. And this is not a good reading for him. I think his absences are not random. I think they're planned. If I can get those up here. He's in seclusion. He's undergoing something that might be medical or strategic or symbolic. So when he comes back, things have changed. Yes, he's changing his mask, people. Okay, wow. So, what do you think? Do you think he's going for medical procedures? What kind of medical procedures? I'm certainly not a doctor or a nurse or anything like that. I'm a regular person who notices things and relies on my intuition and my cards to tell me about those things. This is all for entertainment purposes, YouTube, by the way. Yeah. All right, so we're going to switch off of Trump, kind of off of Trump. If you have been watching regular news, you will not have seen this. Okay, but if you watch YouTube, which I'm sure most of you do, we're going to put this one up. This is happening in Italy. These protests are not just Italy, they're worldwide. Because what's happened is Israel intercepting flotillas that are carrying aid to Gaza. So the Gaza people are starving to death. And Israel is doing our protests are crazy. These protests are definitely a cut above ours. The Middle East and Europe, tensions are really high there. At the same time, Trump is still trying to get his Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel. Trump has proposed this peace deal. Okay, they want an immediate ceasefire, and they want return of all the Israeli hostages within 72 hours of Israel approving this. They want a withdrawal of the Israeli forces, which is staged. And let's see, what else do they want? I have a list here. They want a release of the Palestinian prisoners, including some of them that have life sentences. And they won't release those. They're going to be tied to the release of the hostages. So some hostages go, some Palestinians get released. That's kind of that goes. Establishment of what's called a transitional technocratic government under the international oversight of a board of peace co-led by Trump and others like Tony Blair. They want wide reconstruction, humanitarian aid, and special economic zones and long-term redevelopment. Now, let's decipher what that means. That means Trump wants to put up a Trump Tower in Gaza, and they want to make it a resort, and they want to make it a beautiful place. Except no Gaza people, no Palestinians. They're all starved to death or moved to some other place. Oh yeah, we'll give you food, but you can't be in that city. You see how that goes? And then Trump and his buddies get in there because he's a real estate deal maker, the art of the deal, and they reconstruct. They'll give you humanitarian aid. They'll make special economic zones where only businesses from the rest of the world can be, and long-term development. Yeah. So, Israel is going to accept that, right? But Hamas, they don't trust Israel. They've tried ceasefires before. Why should they trust Israel? The flotilla that just got turned away, they boarded it, and Greta Thunberg was on that flotilla. If you remember Greta, she's an environmental activist, but she's very vocal about the aid going to Gaza, and thought that she could bring some attention to this matter by her being on it. Well, she got arrested, and I guess treated very badly, shoved around, her hair pulled. She was made to kiss the Israeli flag. I mean, just really nasty stuff. So that's why the protest. Okay. So what's the deeper flow behind this events? What's happening with this? I guess that's all I really want to know, is what's happening with this. So let's see what the cards have to say. Okay. Well, Yeah, things are this movement over the world. These protests, they carry a lot of power. Those streets full of people, that's change, and that's happening. So change has got to happen. This is going to show Americans that this protesting really works. And we've got a protest coming up on October 18th. Let me see. There we go. No King's Day. October 18th. Everybody take your cue from Italy and get out there and protest. Although, let's peacefully protest in the United States. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Okay? Now let's go back to the reading. So, Hanged Man, this is probably Greta Thunberg. That's a forced pause, kind of a shift in perspective. She's been sacrificed for the cause. Temperance, balancing the extremes. So, does this peace plan have a chance? There's some pretty hard demands, but Hamas, not Hamas, but the Palestinian people are tired. They're starving. They do anything for peace. Anything. At this point, they'll agree to anything. Hamas and Israel leaders, Netanyahu and Hamas, will not be satisfied until the other is completely wiped out. So, yes, the people would just agree. The people are tired. People don't want any more of their children killed. I read somewhere the number one killer of children in the world right now is Israel. Okay, I've got the Two of Cups. Broken or strained alliances. That's not going anywhere. I don't think that's going anywhere. See, their little cup, their little alliance cup, yeah, it's missed its mark. It's not good. Let's see. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Well, they're going to have a quick response to this. I don't think that's going to be a long drawn out thing. I think Hamas is just going to say no unless the people pressure Hamas. Netanyahu's not changing. This kind of a nothing. And then I have Strength, but it's upside down. So again, the proposal is weak. It's not satisfactory to both sides. You notice that Netanyahu put that 72-hour thing in there, and it's like yesterday they accepted it. So they had 72 hours, Hamas has, to agree to it. And well, that deadline's going to pass, and Netanyahu's going to say, well, they really didn't want peace, so let's bomb them some more. But it ends here. There's some hope. There's some hope. There's some But where's the hope coming from? Is it from the protesters who hope that what they do is going to be effective? Remember, we have the Chariot. The Hanged Man, that's Greta. Weighing of the Two Sides, In Balance, Out of Balance. The Cups, which were reversed. The alliances that were weak. The hope. There's still hope. There's always hope. I don't see anything coming of this week. So we can try again next week and see what that has to bring. But this week, I don't think there'll be a peace plan. Okay, so now let's get rid of all that heavy stuff and let's talk about something that's more fun, okay? I love reading. I always have. And back in the 60s when I was just a kid, and yes, I am that old, I was a regular at my local library, and I consumed, probably 6 to 10 books a week. I'd pile them all up on the side of my bed, and I'd pick up a book and I'd read one chapter, and then I'd put that down and I'd pick up the next book and read one chapter, and I'd just keep rotating them like that until I had finished the entire pile. And then back to the library I'd go. So one summer, the school did a book reading challenge, 20 books for the summer. 20 books. Well, I took that as a challenge, and I decided instead to read the entire library. Okay. I started with A in the fiction section. But it was a small town and it was a small library. There were only 2 rooms, the fiction room and the nonfiction room. But I still didn't finish the library that summer. So I continued, and I continued for years until I had read most of the books in that library. And of course, some books I could read in an hour. And I didn't read baby books or children books or things like that. And some books, oh my God, they were so hard to get through, like the Iliad and the Odyssey. Oh my gosh. I did branch out from the fiction into the nonfiction. And the things that interested me, like not sports or technical books or things like that, but histories and biographies and archaeology and animals and travel, religions, philosophies, and even into adulthood, I loved and used that small library. And it was my happy place. Now, many of those books that I read are banned in some states. And I think it should, well, it's absurd. And it's insane. I don't think any book should be banned. It is an expression of free speech, and even if it offends someone, the writer had a right to create it. And if you don't like it, don't read it. I read many racist books. Did that make me a racist? No. In fact, it showed me the injustices I really deeply cared about. Just like reading the cookbooks did not make me a good cook. Anyway, enough about me. I just found this wonderful story about banned books, and I thought you might like to hear it. Here it goes. Penguin Random House bandwagon, the bandwagon, to get that, hits the road during Banned Book Week of October 5th through the 11th. And it stops in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., and it celebrates the freedom to read. And at each stop, the truck offers 30 titles that are currently banned or often challenged, ranging from picture books to adult nonfiction. Visitors can grab a free copy while supplies last, and every time someone scans the QR code on the wagon, a book is donated to a community in need.
too, has been bringing together people from all over the literary community, speaking out against attempts to suppress the free expression of ideas. But this year, it's getting more than a little extra attention as the number of books challenged and restricted from schools and libraries really has taken off, skyrocketed. So now a banned book truck is fighting back by road tripping across the South, handing out copies of books that have been banned. NBC's Noah Pransky has more.
The bandwagon, get it, the banned book wagon, is on a mission this week, providing pushback where the list of banned books is growing.
People have been walking up, driving by, waving, clapping, giving thumbs ups.
This day's stop, Nashville, Tennessee, where state lawmakers and conservative groups like Moms for Liberty are trying to remove hundreds of titles from schools and public library shelves. The bandwagon pulls up to hand out some of those very same titles.
The biggest issue is the books that tend to get challenged or banned are by and about communities that are marginalized.
Joelle Herr owns a local bookstore here that's hosting the wagon, which is organized by publisher Penguin Random House and a handful of nonprofits.
Banned books is one of our top priorities, sort of educating the public about the dangers of censorship.
You might recognize some of the books banned in various parts of the country. They include critically acclaimed works like The Kite Runner and Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Hello, let's read banned books, right?
You want the rainbow?
Yeah,
I got you.
The day, not only a call to action, but also a celebration of free speech.
I'm a musician, but I'm also a writer, and I love books. My friends got some other books we're all going to exchange.
A lawmaker stopped by.
We're banning books, but we're not banning things like assault weapons, which are actually a danger to our youth.
And even a pastor.
When we restrict people's options, we're living out of fear and not faith.
Not pictured on this day, the lawmakers and groups behind the push to ban certain books. They say many of the titles in question push sexual or mature content.
There's been books that's been put in our libraries that are obscene in nature, and certainly.
Okay, enough of this guy. Okay, well, can we look now? I'm going to use my own personal deck, the Prophecy Papers deck. This, of course, you might want to buy one of these, and I'll leave the link in the description below. It's a beautiful deck made with beautiful paper cut images. And it's an oracle deck. So I'm going to do a reading on the banned books for that, because what I want to know is what's the energy around this. Is it just going to incite more pushback from the people like the Moms for Liberty, or is it going to make people happy like it made me happy to see that? I did see that there was another woman in Alabama that took like a 1947 pickup and is rejuvenating it to make it a banned book shop that she'll travel all over the states, not just those states that have books banned in them. She's going to travel all over with her banned book truck and sell other items out of it also. So look out for her. Her name is Kathy. I can't remember her last name, but I'll put it in the description below. Okay, so here we go. What is the energy around this rolling symbol? This rolling symbol of justice and freedom and the right to free speech. Let's see if I can get this up so you can see it. Blossoming innovation. So I think this is like, that little butterfly is like the bandwagon itself. It's got going down the road. It's got conviction. It's got collective will. It's bringing light and butterflies and happiness to people. I think that is the wagon itself. The next one is nurturing your loved ones. Well, nurturing and giving the gift of stories to people. Books are for nourishment of the soul. And every title that's handed out is a commitment to care, and it's a commitment to the people that create these books, that they will have an audience. They have something to say, and there is an audience willing to listen. The next card is, though, impacted by outside forces. Okay, well, that one and the next one, this like, it all depends on you. So I'd say, look at all the crowds gathering here. The dark clouds, the dark birds gathering here. But here we have the family of wolves. So this shows fellowship, shared resistance. That, yeah, there might be all this negative stuff here going on, but the resistance to that is strong. So next one is a call for resilience. I'd say, that's the restriction, the control, attempt to like silence voices, and just like our government is doing. It's not just banned books, it's banned speech, it's banned agencies, it's banned healthcare. I mean, we have to be resilient, be strong, bend, don't break, right? Okay. And the last card I have for this is believe in the impossible. So this is the energy of the librarians and the readers and the activists and the kids who stand up and say, we're not going to be silenced. We're going to get these books. We're going to go to this book ban truck. We're going to the bandwagon. We're going to get the books and we're going to read them and distribute them. And like that lady said in the video, we're going to trade them around. So in the end, that bandwagon spreads light. It reminds us the stories that we will always find. We had cave paintings on walls. We've always been a people with stories. Our ancestors told stories. They will tell stories in the future. And I think it's not impossible that to get all of these books unbanned. Okay. It's not impossible. It takes will. This tells a really beautiful story. The bandwagons, the chariot of change, the butterfly of change, carrying the gifts of creativity. That's a feel-good reminder that no matter how many times books are banned, the human spirit and the hunger for stories is always going to roll on. I guess that's as good a word for it as I can say. Well, the bandwagon is more than a gimmick. It's a rolling protest, just like the protests in Italy, only it's quieter because readers like to be quiet. So you get invited into this broader conversation, I think, about which stories count and who writes them and who gets to decide what's allowed and what's not allowed. So if you ever see that bandwagon coming into your city, stop by, grab a book, talk to other people about it, and above all, read. Read it out loud, because censorship hates the light. Okay? Keep those stories walking and rolling and spreading. Well, That's it for this week's reading on Mysterious Things Tarot. If you enjoyed these stories through the cards, don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video. It really helps. And remember, the mysteries of the world are always unfolding. We just need to stop and look. And I'm Danny, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.